Hello, everyone. Happy 2023. Good to see each and every one of you guys. Yeah, it's been a minute. Happy New Year to all of you in the chat. It took a long time to get back to the East Coast, but I'm back. I told you guys, as you know, I was in California covering this Tory Lanez trial. And because we had horrible weather here, a week turned into 2 weeks. Then we get back. My husband gets sick, so he's been in the hospital since last Thursday. Yeah, it's just been a little minute here, but I did want to talk to you guys about some of the evidence that came out in the Tory Lanez trial that was it wasn't really leaked because it was a way to get the evidence, but that was distributed online by a couple of content creators. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about Whitehead. So I hope you guys are doing good. I hope that your New Year's has started out right. Let me speak to a few of you guys. Hey, Royal. Hey, Angie James. You made it live. Yes, yes, yes. Happy New Year, Linda LaFrance. Hey, Happy New Year. Chantel, Happy New Year. Hello, hello to everyone. Angie, Keith, Nessa, St. James, Marsh, Queen, Chantel, Sandra, C. Wilson. Thank y'all. It's just popping up names on here. M. Renee. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, y'all. We're going to just talk generally here since we haven't been on for a minute. Let me see. Wanted to share something with you guys. So today I will be on Fox Soul, which is the Tammy Mack show, and we are discussing, you guessed it, Meg the Stallion and Tory Lanez. So I'm going to be giving a legal perspective, and they have different people from different areas in media, etc. And we just, talk about everything, Yes, St. James. Everyone hit that good like. But yeah, if you missed it, my husband is in the hospital. So, the head mod is not on here right now, but hopefully he'll be getting out soon. California was amazing until they wanted to keep me captive. I mean, they canceled flights. They redirected flights. They didn't have pilots. What else? We had delay. I think the last flight was delayed 3 times. We were at the airport till like midnight. And then I was like, you know what? I'm staying here another night. If they delay it one more time, because I'm tired of being at this airport and I'm out of here. And then actually they came in and we were able to leave like probably 11:45 that night, Pacific time. So yeah. Thank you, M. Renee. I appreciate it. St. James said make him a mod. Let me see. Let me see if I can do that. Um, ouch, sorry. Sorry. Okay, done. Thank you all. Thank you. You say you're afraid to start back flying again. Yeah, it's definitely it was crowded. It was crazy. It was so crazy. There were people. It was a lady there. She missed her wedding. It was a couple there whose medication was in the suitcases, but they were in the airport, but they didn't have manpower to get the medication out the suitcases. So they were trying to get a vehicle so they can rent, so they can drive back, but then they weren't any vehicles to rent. It was nuts. So we ended up leaving LAX, trying to, not leaving LAX, but driving to Vegas in order to catch the Nevada flight, and eventually it hit. So we're here. If you guys don't see the flyer on here tonight, I will be on at 7 p.m. Go to Fox Soul TV. We'll be talking all things Meg and Tory and all of that good stuff. Hey, Really B, thank you for coming over. I was just, ranting about how they was trying to keep me hostage over there. Happy New Year, Lady Prophetess. So yeah, we got a few things. So while I was off last week, there was some audio release of Tory Lanez having a conversation with Kelsey. So for all of the people that did not believe that Tory was responsible in the shooting that was related to Meg the Stallion, did that audio in any way change your mind? Because this is the type of information we had. This is the type of information the jury had. So some of us were reporting the entire picture, which would have included that audio and some things that weren't necessarily pro Tory in our eyes. What did you guys think of the audio? I'm just curious. Did you guys believe so? The defense's theory was that audio was Tory apologizing for basically blurting out of being pissed off at Meg about the love triangle between Tory, Kelsey, and Meg. So that's what his interpretation is. Now, mind you, his interpretation was not backed by anybody but his attorney, to be perfectly honest, because Tory didn't testify. Um, of course, we don't know the state of mind to what he's saying. And yeah, so what did you guys think about that audio? Let me know. Let me know. Nobody has anything to say? Great question to ask them. I'm just curious. Like, for all the ones that were like, no, because even the crazy part is, even those supporters, those reporters or bloggers, because this was really a blogger thing. It didn't really blow up like that on the networks, like per se, but it was a blogger thing. So there still were bloggers that kind of, the way I'm explaining it to you, the way the defense is saying what Tory meant by that conversation, that's kind of what they were inferring. But again, it wasn't really much. It was kind of left to the jury, I guess, if they just wanted to believe what the defense attorney said about what the meaning was. So Really B said the audio sealed it. Okay. He was apologizing, but not about anything messy about either women. He apologized for shooting Meg. Okay. Pam, I didn't need to hear that audio. Know that the black leprechaun was guilty. Oh, okay. See, I had a mixed audience over here, so I didn't know. There were still some people that were like, I still got some DMs where they said this didn't mean anything to me. Like, it didn't change my stance one way or another. I still feel the same way. I was like, oh, okay. He clearly was trying to triangulate through Kelsey early. You say he wasn't trying. I'm just telling you what he said. He was his attorney made it. He said in his closing, this wasn't about fighting over ego, because the prosecution said it was over ego because Meg had insulted Tory and his career. And so that's what the prosecution said. So of course the defense said this was about two women that was just pissed off because one was messing with the other one and one was backstabbing the other one, and he was messing with all of them, and you wouldn't have known if he didn't say it. So that was said by the defense attorney, but of course we didn't have any further evidence to back that up because Tory didn't testify. Tory didn't testify as to what his thought process was. You said you called the audio Dumb and Dumber. Okay. I'm older, but if you care about, and yes, and in the audio, he was like, man, bruh, he was just, yeah, he was pretty loose with it. And then, like, the prosecution in their closing, they said he knew he was recorded. That's why he never mentioned actually doing anything. But then on the flip side, the defense said, well, if he knew he was recorded, he wouldn't have said nothing at all, like to incriminate himself at all. So essentially, you guys are reading into this and it really doesn't mean anything. So, and then did anybody listen to the 80-minute? I heard the 80-minute on Kelsey's interview that she did with the DA, that also was leaked. So I want to know if anybody watched the 80 minutes. I haven't watched any of this because of course I saw it in trial, and literally I have all the notes almost verbatim on what was said. But and then you can see why I said, to me, I felt like Kelsey's interview seemed more authentic. She got emotional. She talked about her issues with Meg. She was sitting back matter of factly. She wanted to make sure she got it right. She had two attorneys on the phone listening in, and she had her husband or spouse or partner next to her. So she was comfortable. She was relaxed. And then you get on the stand and you're like, I got so much going on. I have postpartum. I have a child that's sick. I'm stressed and I don't remember what I ate for lunch 10 minutes ago, or I don't remember what I said before lunch 10 minutes ago. Which testimony? We've seen all the testimony in the courtroom. But I did see some people still report it as if she was. Some people believed that, why, if you guys are going to believe that Meg took away her statement and she was honest on the stand, then why couldn't we believe that Kelsey was being honest on the stand that she lied in the September interview? You said she admitted to juggling her interest with Tory and her now husband at the time of the shooting. Said sleeping with more than one person is not illegal. If that's what he was apologizing for, then he would have said it. That guilty conscience had him calling her from jail when he shouldn't have. And did you guys? So M. Renee said you listened to the entire interview. So did you think the interview was credible with Kelsey? Do you think she was telling the truth at the interview, or do you think when she got on the stand and was like, I don't remember saying that at the interview. I'm sorry, I don't remember what I ate 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry, what was that again? She literally was on the stand and would say, I'm sorry, could you repeat that again? I kind of drifted off. I zoned out. She was zoning out on the stand. You said she was never in an intimate relationship with Tory, that she all but admitted to the investigators. Do you think Kelsey received money from Tory? During the 80-minute interview, she said she had a lawyer for the injury she got from Tory beating her up. And see, that was another thing that bothered me as well. Because in that interview, if you recall, and this is why I said it was a sloppy investigation to me. Because if it was kind of like each side got the information they wanted, but never got full information from everybody. Then, if you added on to that information later, then you would say they were lying or inconsistent. But honestly, you never asked the question in the first place. That's how it felt. Because even like Kelsey said, she was going to go get treatment for her injuries. She was going to worry about herself and go get treatment for her injuries before she went back to Houston. Why didn't we try to get medical records to see? You know, when you talk to the doctor's like, well, what happened to you? Did she in those medical records say she got beat up by somebody? It was just so much. She was on the phone allegedly with someone because she wanted them to hear the background. Who was that someone you were on the phone with? Why couldn't we subpoena records and have that someone say, yeah, I heard conversation and this is the conversation that I heard? It was so much corroboration that could have occurred on either side to me that never occurred. And it left so many unanswered questions where now, even though Meg has been found, well, she wasn't even on the stand, but she has been found credible to the jury because they believe that, you know, what her story was. But even though we have Tory being found guilty, Meg is still going to face some backlash. I don't think either way it went, I think she would have faced backlash anyway. So Deshaun said, I think she was telling the truth in the interview. She seemed really upset that her and Megan were no longer speaking. Right. So this is what I heard when people were just like, but I had one person come to me that was there and was like, I think that interview doesn't help the prosecution at all. I'm like, wait, what? So it just showed you that people were tunnel vision. If you believe Tory, you weren't open minded to another theory or what Meg said. It was literally almost like them against us in a hallway on those that believed Tory and those that were Meg fans. And it didn't matter what they heard. They reported how they wanted it to be reported. And so I think it caused a lot of confusion out here in these streets where folks was coming for me. I was like, I'm just literally writing things down. And I try to, if I don't know verbatim what people said, like I didn't quote it, I'll say, don't quote me, but this is what I believe they said. And I'm going to do that in every interview. And that's just because I want to make sure that I report it accurately because it does move fast. And we couldn't have laptops. We couldn't have like, you know, any phones where you can type. Everything was handwritten like you back in school. So yeah, it was a lot. Thank you so much for the super chat. The real Camille. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Happy New Year to you as well. So Real TV said she was not being truthful in the interview because she was beyond contradictory, omitting factual events from that night. Why are you with lawyers are nervous throughout it all if you're innocent? Okay. She had everybody lawyered up. I think that's kind of I have people that are high profile where I'm on speed dial. Some people just don't move without lawyers. So I think having a lawyer with you is smart. I think that the police want you to feel like how you feel. Like if you're innocent, then why you need a lawyer? Because things get twisted, things are said that you may not mean, and you really are trying to be truthful, but you want to make sure you don't say anything that may come back to bite you. A lot of people that are in prison right now that didn't do it, they talked to a lawyer, and they talked without a lawyer and asked for a lawyer later. But I think it was lies and inconsistencies throughout almost all of the information I received. It was just about which portions you believe were credible or which portion the jury believed was credible because they're the only ones that mattered. We didn't really matter in this case. So Shanique said, I don't think she lied in the September interview. Yeah. You said it most definitely lied on the stand. On the stand, there was no way for her to. I'm sorry, she was lying on the stand. Now, I can't say she lied about everything, but for you to say things like, I don't recall, that was before lunch. Or did you say that Meg should pay for a lot? Because, you know, Kelsey was very upset because she felt like Meg didn't protect her. and she felt like Meg started a rumor that she took hush money from Tory. So that was in the interview, if you guys listen to it. But on the stand, when she was questioned by the DA about it, she said she also said she felt like Tory should basically pay or be held accountable for what he did, but Meg should be accountable for what she did for spreading these rumors and helping to ruin her life, is what Kelsey was saying in that interview. On the stand, she remembers saying she felt like Meg should be held accountable, but she doesn't recall if she said that Tory should be held accountable. It just, the way she testified really sounded like someone was in her ear. Like, it really did sound that way. That would have been my impression. Like, so what has happened? It wasn't September of 2020. It wasn't September of 2021. It was literally 2 months, 3 months before this trial. So September 2022, and then you had the trial in December. You said, but Meg's team advised her to not talk to anybody on the incident. I believe Megan, but the defense did an okay job stirring up doubt. I'll say that not enough to sway my position, though. I agree with you. I think, in my opinion, what the defense did was, I think they boxed themselves in their opening by saying Kelsey basically was the shooter. So I'm on the edge of my seat, like, ooh, man, what witness is about to come? Because he's innocent until proven guilty, right? So, man, what person is going to come to say this? Like, what witnesses, what evidence? So even me flipping through my notes, there really was speculation and not really evidence. It was, you try to say a lot of this stuff was related to Rock Nation, but nobody came and testified regarding that. You said that there were 2 muzzle flashes by the girls, but nobody really said for sure that somebody had something in their hand and it was them. Yes, she had GSR on her hand. It just, to me, the way the defense ended up boxing it in, it almost made it seem like, for you to prove what you're saying, your client needs to get on that stand and say what you're saying. Because what, if you guys can help me, what tangible, admissible evidence, aside from what the attorney said, which was what a lot of the public opinion is, a conspiracy with Rock Nation, the struggle with the gun, it was Kelsey, because even with the DNA expert, so you had the defense expert with DNA say that, no, I'm sorry, with the with the DNA. Of course, it was Tory was excluded from being on the magazine. So that just meant, obviously, you didn't load the gun if you were, load that gun. But when it came to the gun itself, then there was at least one male that was on there, but it couldn't be he couldn't be included or excluded, which is different than no DNA, because it could be your DNA, but it couldn't be your DNA that's on there. So the defense expert essentially said that there was a female DNA on the gun, and everybody, rolled with that. Well, the rebuttal witness and the prosecution expert basically was like, no, that's not how DNA works. And I think we can all look it up, where, no, they can tell from the Y chromosome that there was male, and how much of that male, the characteristics that were on there. And it was at least one. It could be all 4 of those profiles could have been male. So it could have, if it could have been all 4, then clearly it could have not been a female as well. So, but that made people kind of run with that, like, okay, but it's still, obviously, Kelsey's DNA was never taken. So that still doesn't prove, okay, let's just go with what the defense said, that on the actual gun, that there was some type of female DNA. I mean, but you still didn't prove it was Kelsey's, because there was no DNA that was taken from her. So I think what the defense was trying to do is to say, well, poke holes, kind of like if you looked at anybody, old enough to remember, like the O.J. Simpson trial, there was DNA, there was all type of stuff that they had in the O.J. Simpson trial, and he still was acquitted. And part of that was the sloppy job of the LAPD. Remember, if it don't fit, you must acquit. It was just a lot of slop and putting, and that was an example of you don't put witnesses or ask questions you don't know the answer to. And that's what they did in the OJ case, which was like, okay, well, maybe that glove doesn't belong to him. They didn't know the answer and they just had him try on the glove. And it was just a lot of that happening in this case. And I think what they were trying to do, the defense was just trying to poke enough holes in how the investigation went. Like, well, if it was a female DNA and you didn't test her DNA, then it could be Kelsey's. Well, it could be Kelsey's. It could be Sue. It could be, Shelly. It could be whoever, so that wasn't convincing enough when you didn't have tangible information on whether it was Kelsey. Maybe it's some new evidence out there. I'm sure he'll have his team on it for any type of post-conviction relief he'll be requesting, which I assume he will be. And I also saw the petition for his appeal. I wasn't really sure what that was about because he has an appeal by right. I mean, so I was reading what the person was saying in the body, why they feel like it was too many inconsistencies. That doesn't mean that the jury couldn't convict without beyond a reasonable doubt. I mean, you have to, what were the charges? It was semi-automatic gun was found next to him. It was obviously shot. You didn't even have to injure anybody the way the statute was. It was unregistered. I mean, when you look at the actual prongs, the prosecution has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt of every single element. According to the jury, they proved their case on every element. The prosecution does not have to prove that every conceivable option was not that. They don't have to prove that. That's why, as a defense, you investigate, you go get records, you go do things to try to concretely get someone to say or to have evidence to say, hey, it wasn't my client. She was definitely upset about losing access to Meg and the perks that came along with it. I agree. She was very upset. She felt like Meg, she's always been loyal. She kept saying, and that's a big thing. When EJ got on the stand, EJ said the same thing. He was like very upset that Meg said that EJ left before Meg, Kelsey, and the driver left the first time from Kylie's house because he didn't like the perception that I'm her friend and I left her here knowing she was drunk and, super drunk, basically. Because they said they had 7, 8 bottles of liquor. So, yeah. Yes. And I said that on somebody's, I'm like, I asked someone what reasonable doubt was, and they were like, they didn't say, like what I'm saying, almost like every conceivable thing wasn't considered. That's not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not the definition of it. They don't have to. Their job is to prove their elements beyond a reasonable doubt in every charge. And apparently they felt like Meg's testimony said that the gun was in his hand. Kelsey in her interview, they must have believed that the gun was in her hand. Then you had Sean Kelly who put an object in his hand. Then you had text messages, Tory shot, Meg helped, like after it happened. I mean, then you had apology texts, you had apology phone calls. And according, to them, they felt like that was him. That was enough for them to convict. And that's how we got the verdict we got. Pleading the fifth in her calmness while talking to Tory on the phone call made her not credible to me. Okay. Why wasn't Tory charged for beating Kelsey that night? That is the good question. I've asked the same thing. I don't know why. Was it something that the prosecution didn't think they could prove? It could have been something they didn't think they can prove because they elicited that, and the prosecution elicited that information from Kelsey, but they didn't really elaborate on that. I mean, that wasn't really what they were trying to prove, but they didn't elaborate on that aspect at all. And I think what the prosecution did do a decent job at was trying to focus on what the charges are. Adding about her history, who she messed with, who she didn't, Rock Nation. It was almost like, stay away from the red herrings. We want you to focus on, this is the statute. To get your jury to just focus on the statute. This needs to be proven in this statute. And I guess to the jury, the prosecution did a good job at that. You said you should never speak with police without a lawyer, even if you're innocent. Police are not your. Thank you. That was one of the first things I learned when I started practicing. I don't care how nice they are. They want to offer you coats. I don't care. We just want to eliminate you. No, because you thinking you just, oh, sure, I'll swab my mouth. Like you just think that you're just being cooperative. And because you're being cooperative, the police is going to remember you somehow in the future. No, they're doing their job. I had a officer in charge basically tell me they can lie to you, which we know they do, to get a list of the information they want. And in their mind, you're guilty until proven innocent. This isn't in the court of law. You're in their precinct or you're in their police station. So this is not innocent until proven guilty. No, you're guilty till you prove yourself innocent in there. Meg is guilty of being a bad friend to Kelsey. I hope they can come back and be cool. I don't know if that relationship could be savaged. I think, yeah, I don't see it, but I wouldn't even want to. In the interview, Kelsey said that Megan was mad at her for getting a lawyer in the beginning, which was interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. I think that Meg's team probably wanted to control the narrative. If you if someone else gets a lawyer, like for instance, Kelsey was advised not to get on social media, even though she eventually did to try to, I guess, protect herself against the advice. But Meg's team wanted Kelsey to come on and say what happened. Like, they dragged me on the internet. They saying I'm lying. They're saying it's fake. Why don't you come on the internet and, social media and say what happened? You were there, and she wouldn't do it. So I think that part of that of why she was upset is because, of course, Kelsey said, well, my lawyer told me to just lay low. Like, because Meg never wanted to press charges. You guys have to understand, in this situation, and she said it on the stand, she did not want to be there. She did not want to testify. This stuff just wasn't worth it to her. All of the backlash wasn't worth it to her. But what happens in a lot of gun cases, domestic violence, things of that nature, the state picks it up, and then you got the whole state. So it was the state of California, the people, versus Daystar Peterson. It was not Meg the Stallion. That's when people were telling me about almost like the prosecution was Meg's attorney. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. This is state bringing these charges against her. So whether she wanted to or not, and I honestly believe most of the people that testified didn't want to testify at all. So if Megan's team never cut her off, Kelsey on the stand would have been a different result. Probably, you're right. Kelsey likely got immunity for the battery in connection to the shooting to corroborate her interview on the stand. And we'll never know. We'll never know, because that conversation of why she got immunity was in chambers with Kelsey's attorney, and the judge. So even the prosecution doesn't know, and even the defense doesn't know why she got use immunity. Yes, she did seem. You said if you look closely at Kelsey's description of the shooting and the witness Sean Kelly's description, they are actually similar and make sense. If you look closely at Kelsey's and Sean Kelly's. Okay. Did you guys, anybody, what I was looking at, and you guys told me if you guys can hear it, what really was interesting to me, because mind you, I went into this, I didn't know nothing about this case for real, except my kid saying Meg lied. That was it. That's all I knew. So when I heard what was going to be proven, I was expecting it to be proven, be it, that Kelsey may have been the shooter. So I really did go in there with open eyes and ears and expectation, right? So I didn't go in there like people were trying to sway me one way or another. I'm like, I haven't heard all the evidence. Or if they would ask me after day 2, what do you think? I'm like, we haven't even heard from the defense. Like, I don't have anything to say. But I did, and I don't know how many of you guys heard this, but when Tory did his own interview, not interview, but he did his own what he called a statement, I guess. I thought it was very, very interesting when he came forward. Let me see if I could find it. It was on someone else's channel, so.
Her or throw her under the bus, but it comes to a certain standpoint where I just can't let my character be assassinated for things that are not even really true, like and for falsified narratives and information. Let's start this off. When
let me know if you can hear it good in the chat. Put a one.
Report came out, and it was a TMZ report about this, that, and the third, and there was gunshots in Kylie Jenner's house, and Tory Lanez goes to jail. They gave y'all all the facts of the juice of Tory Lanez going to jail, and this, that, and the third, and Megan getting arrested, and da-da-da-da. 2 days after that, I get a call from Rock Nation that says, yo, we heard you're going to make a statement about what happened, and it'd be in your best interest if you don't make that statement. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't understand what the issue of me telling my fans, like, yo, look, it's not that serious of a deal. I went to jail for whatever. It's like, I didn't get for that 2 days why that was an issue. 2 days later, the TMZ report come out. TMZ reports, and have the surveillance now. Now they see the video of the arrest. You see Megan, you see me, and you see it's all sprawled out on the ground in bathing suits and blah, blah, blah. And everything I'm saying is public record. You can go back and look at this shit. You can go back and see it. Like, you feel me? So they say, oh, okay, you know, you see her out of the car, she's getting out of the car, she's hopping. It looks bad, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I felt bad watching it because it made her look bad, and it didn't make her look good. It didn't make any of us look good. And I didn't want that for her. I don't see that for anybody. So all of a sudden, when we get arrested, or when it looks like we all got arrested, the memes start. Now I want to really bring you guys in for a second so you can understand something. And I really just want you to take this in. Like, she is a person I spent enough time with her to observe and understand something about her, where it's like she's going through a lot. She goes through a lot. She deals with a lot on her day-to-day basis. And because of that, she's not used to, you know, and not even just because of that, but just because of the fact that she's been praised so much. We've always looked at her as like, yo, that's hip hop sweetheart. Like, she's nice, she's talented, whatever the case is, cool. And because of that, like, we've never seen a moment where the memes have come at her, where the memes are like, yo, nigga, let's laugh at your pain. Ah, ha, 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 ha. She's never had to deal with that. What did you find when you lost the weight?
Hold on, we got commercials.
I found I could eat, really eat. Jenny just makes it simple.
So this is an IG statement from Tory after the incident.
It's a no-nonsense way for your business to stay connected. Get the fastest internet speeds in the nation. That because she's always been praised. So everything that's been happening has been a reaction off of what's been going on. So it gets down to this point now where it's like, now the reports are starting to say, okay, well, everyone's pointing to different things. No one really knows what's happened, but nobody has ever said she got shot. Nobody has ever said she got shot. Not TMZ, not the police report at this point. Nothing is saying that she got shot. Soon as she sees herself on video with the bikini and the things like that, and it looks bad, she then comes out and says, yo, the narrative of me getting cut by glass, it's just not true. She doesn't point at nobody or anybody or say anything or anything like that. She just says the narrative that whatever came out of me being cut by glass is not true. I was shot in my feet with the intention to harm me and put harm and danger upon me, right? So, okay, cool. Like, all of a sudden, the affiliates of her circle start pointing like little subliminal fingers, like count your days and like I won't be around when you shooting at me, and like little funny things that they start doing. And I'm kind of like, damn, hold on, where are y'all about to take this? Because y'all told me not to make a statement, so I'm trying to figure out where y'all taking me. I don't get it. So then at this point she goes live because people are not really understanding the story or whatever case is. She waits. She doesn't go on, a time when it's just a regular time. For y'all who don't understand, it was one of those things where me and her knew what was going on, but y'all didn't know what was going on. She went live on my birthday. And then she says, yo, and the thing about the whole jury thing is like, my bad. She knew that it wasn't a situation where like she knew she had to do certain sympathetic things, I guess, to push the narrative. And I don't know who told her to do certain things like that. And I'm not the one who's trying to like ever point the finger at anybody. But when it really comes down to it, it's like you went on live on your birthday, and then you said on my birthday, and then you said I got shot in my foot, and it didn't hit no bones or tendons. So everybody's looking at this, and again, the internet is a sick place. This is a place where people don't give a fuck about you. They do what they do. They antagonize and they do what they do. You go in and you see you get shot in your foot, no bones or tendons. The internet goes into an outrage because some people are like, hold on, how you not get shot? How you get shot in your foot and it don't hit no bones or tendons? Like, whoever is watching this, like, if you need to go on Google and look at a foot anatomy of bones and skeletons and tendons, you realize there's like 30 bones in your feet and like 100 tendons, some crazy number like that, right? So she now gets to this place where the people are like, hold on, and again, the internet is sick. The internet starts coming at her and saying, yo, show your feet. Because we're seeing you at DJ Khaled's house and you're on your tippy toes, and then we're seeing that you're here and there, and they're antagonizing her. They're brutally coming for her and not giving her, I guess, what it is that she needed. But it gets to this point where now she posts a picture of a foot. And she posts this picture of her foot. There's no exit wound. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the story. And she says under the post, you see, I got shot in the back of my foot because when I was walking away from the car, she says she puts this in capital letters. She says, I was walking away from the car and I got shot in the back of my foot. She doesn't ever show the other foot that she claims she got shot in. And I'm not trying to, again, I hate that this is coming off like I'm trying to come for her and whatever case is, but this is what I'm having to endure and watch when I'm knowing certain facts. So it gets to, it gets to this place where I'm just like, bro, like this is not me, and I don't deserve this. Like I don't deserve to have to go through this. Like I never have been somebody who's had domestic cases. I've never hit no woman. I've never had abusive cases with no woman. You can't pull those type of facts up on me. I don't have those. So it's like I just didn't understand why I'm going through this. So now it gets to this point where she posts this picture of her foot and everyone's seeing certain things and everyone's saying certain things about her foot, and some people think it's real, some people don't think it's real, and it gets to this place where some people are just not believing it. So she posted a picture. There's no bullet tray. Where are they taking out the bullets for the pan? Like this is what's going on. Like where are they taking out the bullets for the pan? I don't understand. Like where's the surgery? You're not in the surgical room. And anybody who knows, I mean, this is like it clearly had to be the first day that you've taken this picture. So if this is the first day that you've taken this picture, it's like where's all the evidence? Why are you not in the surgical room? First of all, you're not even allowed to take pictures in a surgical procedure. That is against the law. It doesn't matter if you're famous or not. So it gets to this point now where it's like, she says, I was shot from behind and, blah, 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 this, that, and the third, and I was walking away. And she puts that and then she deletes the post after. But that contradicts with the first post because you said somebody came out to hit you with malicious harm and danger, to put you in harm and all this danger and all this stuff. How can you identify who's shooting at you if you're facing the other way? How can you even identify criminal or malicious intent if you're not seeing what's going on behind you? That doesn't even make sense. And so it's like I'm looking at this and I'm just like, yo, this is not right. Like, and I do see when people are getting at her, and there's times when I'm like, damn, like, do I help her or do I speak up and say, yo, don't talk about her, whatever the cases are. But if I do that, then it's like I'm coming off like I'm guilty. And then if I say something about having remorse, like I would like to, or saying something about certain things, it's like I come off like I'm guilty of something that I didn't do. So I had to be quiet on certain places. Now, I need y'all to really take this in and understand like how this works at this point. When all this starts happening, LA Times, okay, this is put in public information. LA Times puts out an article, and in the article they say, this is the initial report. Two sources close to the investigation said that she got cut by glass, and she said that she got cut by glass. So then it's like people see that, okay, hold on. They're saying on the initial police report with Officer Santiago, whatever his name is, you can go look this up. This is on LA Times. That's when it gets to this point where it says, okay, yo, They reported no gunfire wound in her foot. They just reported a woman with a foot injury. So you gotta understand, like, this is what's in their initial police report. Fuck all the Instagram, fuck the other shit. This is just what's in the police report. So you gotta understand, like, I'm getting to a point where I'm like, wow, I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, like, at the end of the day, like, maybe some people might see this, maybe some people might not. It gets to academics, it gets to academics, it gets to Hollywood Unlocked, it gets to certain places, right? She comes out with this tweet that says, keep talking and I'm gonna stop sparing you. It's like, my love, I have not been on the internet for 3 months.
My love.
I have not been on the internet for 3 months. And then 30 minutes later, she just goes on live. And it's like me telling you, yo, keep talking, my nigga, and I'm gonna slap you. And then I just slap you. It's like, you didn't do anything for me to slap you, I just slapped you. So it's like, who was talking to? Who are you saying to keep talking to? I don't understand. Whatever. It gets past this point. And it gets to a place where now she says, I'm gonna stop sparing you, whatever the case. She gets on live. Now, because it got on academics that there was no gunfire wound on the initial report, everyone starts going to her page. Again, she starts reacting to certain things. Now, I'm gonna say one thing. I'm not getting mad at her or whatever it is, because I understand that she is dealing with a lot. Like, when it comes down to, you gotta understand, she lost both her parents, and I do sympathize with that. I lost my mother, and when I lost my mother, I realized one thing. When you lose a parent, you could be highly susceptible to people around you that are giving you parental guidance or things that feel like parental guidance, to believing that it is parental guidance, and you go with it. That's happened to me. I've been at that place where I've listened to a lot of people that led me down the wrong road because it felt like parental guidance that I should have been getting from my mother or my father that at that time wasn't around, or whatever the case is. So now it gets to this point now, whatever the case is, boom, she comes out and she goes, listen, you guys and all this extra shit, this nigga keep talking about me. And I'm over here watching this like, yo, what did I say? I didn't say nothing. I said nothing to you. I didn't say nothing. This nigga keep talking about me, bro. And so, you know what? Now we just gonna do it. This nigga Tory shot me, bro. This nigga shot me. He shot me. She gets into it. This nigga shot me. She starts breaking down the story. And I want y'all to pay close attention to how she breaks down the story. Okay? Really pay close attention. She breaks down the story and she says, yo, I'm arguing. I'm in the car. I'm arguing with this nigga. I'm tired of arguing with this nigga. We get into a heated argument. I'm tired of arguing with this nigga. I get out the car. This nigga get out the car, and he starts shooting me. For no reason, he starts shooting me. So boom, then the cops pull us over and da-da-da-da. Hold on, let's take the first facts back for what she just said. So you mean to tell me
this was an
IG
live,
a person, and this person is arguing with you? This person has gotten you to a place of like, yo, I don't even want to be around you. Like, I'm above this. I'm out of here. You get out of the car because the heated argument is so heated, and then this person gets out and shoots you in both of your feet, and you jump back in the car? Why would you jump back in the car with a dangerous man who just did a dangerous crime to you, who did this criminal intent to you, and all this? Why? Why would you jump back in the car? Well, yo, then the police pull us over, and I see, you know what I'm saying? We're all black in the car. There's a gun in the car, so I don't even want to be like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to get in more trouble, and I'm trying to protect this man. Because at the end of the day, this nigga's getting shot out here. She then throws the black card at me. I'm trying to protect this black man. My love, nobody ever reported that you got shot but you. So how are you trying to protect me? At what point were you trying to protect me? At what point? Like, I got a child. You know that these type of situations, even an accusation, is something that I can't even be playing with. I don't even play with my life like that. So why would that, that to me just doesn't make sense. Okay, cool. Yo, I lied to the cops. I lied to the doctors. Let me tell you why they saying there's glass on my feet, though. Because I lied to the cops. I lied to the doctors. I lied to this, that, and the third. Ladies and gentlemen, I need us to really understand what she's saying here. You mean to tell me that these medical doctors that are in an ambulance that work on on-site injuries 24/7, for all day that have to know every type of on-site injury, the specifications on the type of on-site injuries, so they can treat it right. You mean to tell me you lied to these people and they just treated you for glass when you had a bullet in you? If that's what you're saying, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say they were dumb. You mean to tell me that the cops who were called for a gunshot in a Suburban or whatever the car was found that same Suburban and found a gun in it, see you leaking, and didn't check you for bullet wounds? I'll give you the benefit of doubt and say they were dumb. You then further said, yo, I'm at cotton mouth like a motherfucker smoking. You then say, oh, well, I was trying to protect this black man, so I never said nothing. I didn't want them to shoot me. I didn't want them to kill me. Okay, but when me and Kelsey and Quan were over there being questioned, you were in a stretcher. No one is going to shoot you in a stretcher. You had plenty of time to tell the cops that you were in danger. You had plenty of time. I'm not protecting somebody who just heinously shot me after a conversation that we just had. My mind is not on protecting you. I'm bleeding from my feet. I'm thinking about protecting my own life and I'm in danger. Why would you not say that with 2 feet bleeding from 2 bullet holes? From what you're saying? I don't understand that.
Commercial break. You win parking. This was 2 years ago in IG Live that he did.
Then there's this whole narrative of, like, I didn't want to put this black man on, I didn't want to get him in trouble. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm protecting this man and he keeps talking. And so now, he keeps getting his media team to start doing certain things to make me look incredible and to smear me and to make him look good and to make it look like I'm not. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, have I been around in the last 3 months saying anything? Have you seen in the last 3 months one article that made me look good during this? One? Have you seen it? You haven't seen it nowhere. Because at the end of the day, my PR team is not out here playing with my jeopardy of my life and freedom. Y'all are doing this for the internet. This is my life. I'm the only person with the case. So at the end of the day, when you sit here, y'all, like, I'm not gonna jeopardize my son, even if I know, regardless of what I know, it will come to light, and the truth will come to light. And I have no issue with that. I have no issue with that. But I need y'all to understand, like, I'm a human being, bro. Like, this shit hurts, bro. Seeing my friends, people that I had on quarantine radio, be people that were just like my real, like, at least people I thought were my friends, like people I thought were like cool people, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, everybody just showed me. I showed everybody love at the top of the year. Everybody was on quarantine radio, hee hee ha ha ha. And the second y'all have an accusation, not even evidence, niggas just come bash me. I'm somebody who just I don't get a say. Then I understand. Sometimes the way I move is unconventional. And I came to a place where I was dealing with so much just talk and heat and just people coming at me that I made music because I was like, this is how I can speak through what I gotta do. This is how we get so mad about artists making songs about the same thing, money, chains, and cars. So when a nigga comes out and says his true passion, puts his true heart, his emotions, the pain that he's dealing with his baby mother, his child, when a nigga goes and does that and pours his emotion into the tape, or what, he wrong? I'm wrong? I get shunned off. They took me off of every single playlist. They took me off of every playlist. They didn't want my story to come out. They didn't allow my story to come out because it came off insensitive. I want to speak on this. I don't ever want anybody to ever think that I'm being insensitive to Breonna Taylor. I marched 9 days straight in Miami for her and George Floyd. I would never, bro, I've mourned this woman as well. And everyone said, listen, we're mourning a black woman today. You dropped an album? How dare the disrespect? Guys, let's bring this back. That day that I dropped that album, my mom, that was her birthday. And that was also the day she died. So I was also mourning a black woman, my mother. That meant a lot to me. My name is Daystar. I'm her youngest son. That meant a lot to me. And all I was doing was giving a truthful album about what I'm going through. And I thought that people were going to be able to hear it and feel me. But they didn't do that. And I don't expect, everyone to just jump into my side because at the end of the day,
he has some buffering. So that was pretty much the end of it, what was able to be screen recorded from his Instagram. I'm just glad, honestly, I didn't even hear this before I went into the trial. I just started looking at some of the posts and stuff online after the trial. When I heard this, I was like, you never mentioned Kelsey. You never mentioned like it being her fault. You almost said she didn't get shot pretty much in so many words. You were saying she didn't even get shot at all. It was just all over the place. It didn't even make sense to me. So people asking why he didn't testify. Maybe his attorney had this statement on him defending himself. Also, you have all the issues that he had. People mentioned August Alsina and other issues that may or may not have been allowed by the judge to be in as far as violent tendencies. But this just changed my whole perspective when I saw it. I was like, what are you? Am I missing something? So I just wanted to play it for y'all to see if I was missing something. So this is dated, it's timestamped for like 2 years ago. So according to him, it must have been about 3 months after the incident. So you said he's a gaslighter, all in this industry. Take note, assault any woman. It's time to start protecting you and protect one another. While in Miami, he punched Prince. Daystar punch a prisoner in Presses. Oh my, didn't know that. Nicole said, I feel Megan song circles address this IG post. Look at the lyrics. Okay. I'm gonna look at it. Yeah, I have to see. That's what happens when you're behind the 8 ball. I wasn't listening to stuff released. I had a couple of people ask me to be on the panel asking about the situation. I was like, I don't know anything about it. All I know is what people is telling me is that she lied and everybody's doing diss tracks, and that's just not legal commentary for me. So I never really did anything. So that's why I made it a point. If I was gonna talk about it and I was gonna come, I was gonna actually take myself down and sit in the trial and see what I can see. But I looked at this statement, I was like, what was he saying exactly? It was, you get what I'm saying? Like, how do you go in and you're like, first you said you got shot, then you said you weren't. How were you really shot? Taking pictures, and then it's only 1 foot, and you said 2. And like, you really weren't shot. Like, he was questioning whether she got shot or not in this. I'm gonna take a few questions, then I'm gonna close out with a little clip from Whitehead, because not much is happening with him. His civil attorney is basically taking a part of the criminal part. But it was a video I found about him, and I just had to show y'all because it's so funny. But I gotta prepare for this show coming up too. So you said there's a whole Twitter thread of videos of all the people he's run up on and sucker. Oh my goodness! Could you DM me? Or yeah. It's the 6 different people that were. Shut your mouth. I didn't know that. See, you learn something new every day. Wow. So Ray asked, was I going to cover the YSL case? And Ray, I was so gung-ho about covering this case. And then that judge said, this trial is going to be between 6 and 9 months. I can't do that every day for 6 to 9 months, Ray. I just ain't got the time for it. And it's in Georgia. I would literally have to go buy a place there. So if it's online, like a lot of the motion hearings have been online, then I'll stream it through my platform and we can discuss it. But every day, I'm not even going to front like I'm going to be able to do that, because I'm not. He said 6 to 9 months. And then the judge said, well, I'm going to block out 12 months. They said 300 plus witnesses. I don't know. I'm not built for that. I don't think I'm built for that. I've never done a trial. I've done a 3-month long trial, but it was really because the judge just liked to take Fridays off and, stop at 2 and all of that. And that was like, I had to go on a cruise after that and not work for a month, because that's just how taxing it was. So yeah. so I doubt it is the answer. But y'all got to see this. I promise you it's going to make your day. Let me see. Oh, man. Wait a minute.
I was never served.
You're being served now, brother.
You You're a clown. That's what you. Why don't you call me a cardboard bishop now? You tough? Call me a cardboard bishop now.
He's not gonna put you that.
Huh? No. Look on Facebook Live. Call me a cardboard bishop now. You clown. That's what you are. You clown. That's what you are. Why don't you say what you say on Facebook Live, sucker?
Got it.
I'm sorry. That thing tickled me. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see if I can play it again without
I was never served.
You're being served now, bro.
You're a clown. That's what you. Why don't you call me a cardboard bishop now? You tough? Call me a cardboard bishop now.
He's not gonna put you that.
Huh?
No.
Look on Facebook Live. Call me a cardboard bishop now. You clown. That's what you are. You clown. That's what you are. Why don't you say what you say on Facebook Live, sucker?
Got it.
all right, y'all. One more time for the road. And then we out of here.
I was never served.
You're being served now, bro.
You're a clown. That's what you. Why don't you call me a cardboard bishop now? You tough? Call me a cardboard bishop now.
He's not gonna put you that.
Huh?
No.
Look on Facebook Live. Call me a cardboard bishop now. You clown. That's what you are. You clown. That's what you are. Why don't you say what you say on Facebook Live, sucker?
Got it.
Y'all, I don't know why that tickled me so much. I don't know all the facts behind it, but somebody sent me the clip. Sucker. I was like, what? He said, I've never been served. You know, that's like his favorite line. I've never been served. I don't live here. There's no jurisdiction. And he said, you've been served now. I was like, oh my. But anyway, y'all, catch me over there on Fox. So I had the flyer up earlier. So you said in the street snitching is fire. All the YSO boys are snitching, singing, and cutting deals. So maybe the trial won't be that long if everybody starts snitching. I heard it was like 5 or 6 the last time I looked at it. Maybe it's probably more than that because I haven't checked into it. But I was trying to keep up, y'all. But that's a huge case, a huge case. So yeah. All right, y'all. I'll get with y'all later this week. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please like, please share, and please subscribe and let everyone know about our channel over here. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary and leave a comment. I love each and every one of you guys. Hope your new year is starting out fantastic. And I'm going to talk to you guys later.